This is Daily Armenia, ＳիվիլNeթ's daily news digest. Here's what's making headlines in Armenia today. Armenian Border Guard troops will be guarding the Armenia-Iran and Armenia-Turkey borders together with the Russian Border Guard starting January 1st, while also fully replacing Russians at the only border checkpoint between Armenia and Iran. Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan's spokesperson Nazali Baghdasaryan announced yesterday. Prime Minister Pashinyan thanked President Putin for the service performed by the border guard troops of the Russian FSB. Baghdasaryan's statement said the changes were reportedly agreed upon during yesterday's talks between Pashinyan and Putin in Moscow. Since Armenia's independence from the Soviet Union in 1991, Russian border guards from the FSB, Moscow's security service, have been responsible for managing the country's borders with both Turkey and Iran. They also manage the border checkpoint at Yerevan's Zvartnots airport, together with the Armenian border guards withdrawing this August. Following a similar agreement between Pashinyan and Putin in May, it was announced that Russian border guards would pull out from Armenia's border with Azerbaijan, where they were deployed shortly after the 2020 Nagorno-Karabakh war. Despite earlier reports that Russians left their positions on several sections of the border, the extent of their presence is currently unclear. Russia's Deputy Prime Minister Alexei Overchuk asserted yesterday that the unblocking of economic and transport links in the South Caucasus is only possible with Russia's participation, and hinted that Armenia is trying to hamstring the implementation of the 2020 ceasefire declaration. Armenia has not officially withdrawn, but there has been little to no development at the highest level during the last year and a half. Overchuk stated, speaking of the so-called Zangezur corridor, a Russian-controlled transport link that, according to the ceasefire declaration, should connect mainland Azerbaijan with its Nakhichevan exclave through Armenian sovereign territory. In a seemingly contradictory stance, Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov declared yesterday that Russia does not interfere in the affairs of Armenia and Azerbaijan. One way or another, they continue their dialogue in the Commonwealth of Independent States, but the rest, the bilateral relations, are no longer ours, it's their sovereign right, Peskov claimed. Russia's President Vladimir Putin held separate talks with Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan and Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev as leaders and foreign ministers of post-Soviet countries gathered in Moscow on Monday. Peskov told Russian state media that Putin discussed the so-called Zangezur corridor with both Pashinyan and Aliyev. Armenia is set to register its signature specialties, lavash, basturma, sujuk and matzoon, as geographical indications, which will establish stringent production quality standards and restrict the use of these names exclusively to products made within Armenia. Kristine Hambaryan, head of the Intellectual Property Department of Armenia's Economy Ministry, told state news agency Armen Press today. Technical specifications will improve the quality of the products, introducing new technical requirements and making them more eco-friendly, she said. Hambaryan also revealed that Armenia is negotiating an agreement on geographical indications with Georgia, possibly referring to the ongoing dispute over the specialty called matzoon in Armenia and matzoni in Georgia, both of which are types of yogurt. Though the agreement has yet to be signed, it is expected to allow Armenia to export matzoon by land through Georgian territory and to provide mutual protection to the specialties of both countries. As of now, Armenia's only registered geographical indication is the Savan trout, known in Armenia as ishkhan, an endemic fish species native to Lake Sevan, according to Hambaryan. You can also watch ＳիվiլNeթ's interview with Jacob Abrahamyan, assistant to Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan, who offered an insider's perspective on the nation's ambitions to transform into a democratic, prosperous, and globally competitive high-tech hub in the context of today's complex geopolitical landscape. You can find the full interview on our YouTube channel or by following the link in the video description below. And as always, please follow ＳivilNeթ for the latest news and independent reporting from our contributors on the ground here in Armenia.